lifetime on this music shit, going nowhere, I was losing it. She was right there enduring this, while her folks like, why she doing this? But Shawty didn't care what nobody said. She was gonna ride to the day I'm dead, stay by my side when the others fled. So I'm convinced that she deserves it all. She believed in me when chances were real small. I picture me driving a foreign. Shawty, she riding the passenger side. Yeah, 3 in the morning, holding her head up, yeah. There from the beginning, there from the beginning. Oh, she was there from the beginning, yeah. Baby, you were there from the beginning. Shawty my ride or die, and she is my reason why I keep on grinding to buy her expensive things that money can buy. Her beauty represents me well. She loves me and others can tell. Her heart is where my love will dwell. Talk about her man and she will rebel. I ain't ashamed, this ain't a game. She was right there in the storm and the rain. Endure the pain and the financial strain. Now she gon' shine with the fortune and fame. She gambled her life for me, she sacrificed for me. She deserves it all. It's only right, you see. No matter the price, you see. I picture me driving the foreign. Picture me driving the front, and now my history is changing. She's my day one, and there is no rearranging. She's had my back through the times when things were straining. Now she benefit from every cent I'm gaining. Listen to what I'm saying. No dividing, no compromising. She gon' ride while I keep on climbing. Just recognize we gon' keep on thriving. She believed that I'll see greatness in due timing. I picture me driving the foreign. My shawty, she riding the passenger side.
Hey, good evening. What's going on? Welcome to Living Your Best Life with Life Coach Kurt. Man, do we got a show for you tonight. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. I know it's always at 8 o'clock, Mondays, just in time after dinner, so you can come on and get some of this knowledge that we have and represent and meet all my fine guests that come in. Real quick, I just want to acknowledge the BU Radio hosts that we have, their shows. We got the Braids and Beauty. We got the Wong Show, Key Talk Tuesdays, Malik's Truth. That's my producer. The Jump Off, Expressions of Praise, Salsa in the City, and also my sponsors. Love my sponsors. I have Braids for You, Bougie Girl Vegas, and I got a new sponsor. We're going to pop that up after a while. It's called Red Rum Mobile's Hair Salon. She was here last week. That's Jamisa Wallace. And they out there doing some wild things out here, taking care of these young ladies and these kids with all the great hairdos and everything. And don't forget, if you go and do service with them and mention Life Coach Kurt or Living Your Best Life show on BU Radio, they'll give you a 10 to 15% off on whatever service you get. Either sign up on their website or call them directly. There they go up there. It's a great opportunity. I had the greatest opportunity to meet this incredible young man. And I tell him we young men because we both the same age. He's just a couple of months younger than me. But I have Chef Jeff in the house from the Chef Jeff Project. If you don't know his story, you will know it tonight. But a lot of people know you. As a matter of fact, one of the guests that just left, when I mentioned your name, she said, "Is he bringing some food?" Because she know how it go down. She's like, "Did he bring something to eat?" I say, "No, not this time, but next time we're going to have him bring in something." All right, go ahead and my producer's going to shine everybody in. Go ahead and bring in Chef Jeff Henderson and his lovely wife, Stacy Womack Henderson.
Hello, everyone.
It's a delay up there, so go ahead and talk and say hello.
Hello, this is Stacy.
Hey.
What's up, folks? This is Chef Jeff from the Chef Jeff Project.
All right, so as we get started, let me tell you how I end up meeting this incredible program called the Chef Jeff Product that he runs. Everybody knows that I work with the youth in the community that are usually having certain situations going on in their life, and they're referred over to the company that I work for called Youth Advocate Programs Incorporated. We deal with juveniles in the juvenile justice system, and we mentor and advocate for them and try to get them in situations where they can learn and grow. And it just happens that we've partnered with the Chef Jeff Project, and I have two of my mentees that are in his program that's just doing incredible. But he has anywhere from 6 to 7 at any time. He brings them in at different times and gives them an opportunity to better themselves through the culinary arts field. If you ever get an opportunity to come down on Las Vegas Boulevard and Pecos, right across the street from Broad Elkie Swap Meet, we're going to give you all that information after a while. But stop in on a Saturday morning. You got to come in. I'm sure Chef Jeff is going to tell you all about it. So, Chef, great. Thank you for coming and getting on the show today. How you doing, sir?
My pleasure, my honor, man. Good to see you.
I'm very humbled. I tell you, we talk all the time, but it's just when somebody you ask them, "Can you come and support me and let's get the word out about your program?" And he said yes, and I was blessed then. I knew it was going to be a great evening. Yes. So, Chef, go ahead and tell us about your journey, where you started, how it happened, where you going, and then we'll keep going from that.
Wow, it's interesting. I get that question asked all the time, and my journey is a long one. I've been on this earth and blessed for 56 years, and I always say I always have to thank God that I was allowed to live and survive, poverty, the crack cocaine pandemic of the 1980s, and the buildup of mass incarceration as we know it today. My journey is very traditional in black communities and brown communities all across this country. Grew up in a typical African-American home in the hood, single parent. My mother raised my sister and I. It was always a struggle. My family migrated up from New Orleans, Louisiana to L.A. In the early 1960s. I was born in 1964, and as a youngster growing up in South Central LA and Southeast San Diego, I always had a dream. I had a dream that one day that life would one day just be better, for my mom and for my sister and I, because I watched her struggle. And, my mother always, could never just figure out, what life was going to be, for her and for our family. My father and them divorced when I was young, and like most typical youngsters, I got caught up in drugs. I started stealing, breaking into houses, didn't go to school much. School failed me. I failed in school. And, in the 1980s, crack cocaine was introduced to black communities all across this country, Kurt.
Man, I understand that exactly. And I always hear the stories. Now, I was just my growing up was just a little bit different, but I seen what was going on. Mm-hmm. And we only a few months apart. Actually, my birthday's in November and yours is in July.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So that makes me older than you then.
Just a few months.
Okay, so I get the double OG status. You still a single OG.
There you go. That's it. But in life, when they look at us and how we come up in the hood and things like that, we're already considered a failure.
Yes.
I've always heard that they build twice as many prisons as they do colleges. That
Yes.
has a purpose behind it.
That's a fact. And too, they watch the failure rates of our young black and brown boys and girls, and that's how they project and forecast the building of these institutions. And when you think about the school to prison pipeline, which I now call from the neighborhood to the prison pipeline, it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious mindset and culture in our community. And I just been inspired to do whatever I can to help dismantle that criminal culture and dismantle that criminal street hustler mindset in our young people. And Kirk, you work with them every day with YAP. And I've been blessed with this extraordinary opportunity to do a nonprofit 501c3 along with my wife and my family to try to address some of the needs of these young folks.
That is so true. It's absolutely amazing how much support you have. I love coming down there on Saturdays and just seeing the community, not just regular people. We talking about politicians. We talking about, commissioners. They coming down and support it. One of my good friends, Jasmine Tass, Mr. Jones, is always there. We grew up here together in Las Vegas. I've known him for many years. That's why he always called me Chief, because I was in the Navy during that time when we met, and I was a Chief Petty Officer.
Yes.
But one thing I wanted to say is, the attention to detail. I've noticed how exact you are in the things that you do, but I got one more question before that. So, Miss Stacy, how did you end up falling in and knocking this guy and getting him on your team? Because I think he came on your team because you said yes, right?
Yes, well, it's a long story, but I'll just make it short by saying that we met through a mutual friend who said, hey, this guy, you might want to meet him. He's really nice, So I was like, okay, so tell me a little bit about this friend. So she goes, well, he's in prison. So I'm like, in prison? Are you kidding me? I'm not going to waste my time, And then she goes, okay, well, he's really nice. Trust me, I wouldn't be vouching for him if he wasn't about anything. So I said, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about him. So she said, I can do better than that. I got a letter. So I got a letter that he actually, I've been telling him about you, so he wrote you a letter. And there's a photograph inside. So I was like, okay. So opened up the letter, saw the photo. It's like, wow, he's kind of cute. And he doesn't really look like a guy who's been in prison. So I was like, maybe if she's co-signing it and he looks like a nice guy, maybe I should give this guy a shot. So my cousin, I showed him the picture. We talked a little bit about it. And I let him read the letter a little bit. He says, you should just give the guy a chance. What do you got to lose? So I said, all right. So I guess you could say the rest that's like the short version. But we met and we just kind of been going strong ever since. I don't know what else to say.
That's some incredible support because, sometimes in certain situations we get labels and we get, if he went to prison, he ain't worth nothing, he ain't gonna never be nothing, all that. And look where you are. I think y'all been married about
24 years. 24
I was going to stop at 22 because your daughter. But
Yeah.
how long?
24.
24 beautiful years, and look where it came from. So you can't judge people by their past. You just got to look forward to their future.
That's very true.
That's the way I look at it. And what you guys are doing with your 501c3 is amazing because you're taking kids at an early age before they get to that penitentiary situation and trying to form them into something else. Chef Jeff, tell us a little about the TV shows you had back in 2008.
Wow, I've been extremely blessed coming out of prison. Was just laser focused on my career, my family, and I came to Vegas 20 years ago. Became the first African American executive chef, running restaurants at Caesar's Palace, Bellagio, Hard Rock Hotel. And one day I got a phone call from this literary agent in New York, and he said, "Hey, I would love to help you put a book out." And I said, sure. He came out, we wrote a proposal up, and he went back to New York, shopped the book, and it went into auction from some of the world's biggest publishing houses. And wound up got a book deal. I wrote my first book, my memoir, Cooked, From the Street to the Stove, From Cocaine to Foie Gras. And that really began to open the doors for me because after the book launch, then we got the phone call from Oprah, and I was on my way to Chicago and was invited to sit on her couch and tell my story about resilience and never giving up on hope. And after I told my story to the world, a couple hours later, I was hanging out with Will Smith and Heavy D on the set of I Am Legend in Brooklyn. And by 5 o'clock that evening, we had a motion picture movie deal with Sony Columbia. Then my first television show opportunity came 2 weeks later. Bob Tishman, who's the senior vice president of Food Network, reached out and said, "Chef Jeff, we'd love to do a show with you, but not really sure what we would, what are you thinking? What would you like to do?" And I said, "Give me a couple of days. Let me marinate on that." And came up with this concept called the Chef Jeff Project. And the Chef Jeff Project was a catering company called Posh Urban Cuisine I had in Beverly Hills, and I took at-risk young people off the streets of LA and did this catering company. But for them was really about teaching them life skills, teaching them middle-class values, exposing them, teaching them the importance of building strategic relationships. So that was my first TV show. And then I did another syndicated show called Family Style with Chef Jeff, based out of New Orleans, where I cooked with families and young people. And then my third show was a show called Beat the Chefs on the Game Show Network, where myself and 2 other pro top chefs competed against home cooks on the Game Show Network. And then my last show was called Flip My Food with Chef Jeff, and it was a food truck where I cooked out of this food truck all across the country for a couple of years. And so after the pandemic hit here in Vegas, at that point I had left the Bellagio and went out on my own, public speaking all around the world and stuff. And since the pandemic hit, I wasn't traveling much. And I always had a dream to one day open up a little kitchen in the neighborhood, to bring the little homeboys in there and teach them how to cook and bake, and but use food as a vehicle, a vessel to tap into the life and get them to kind of shift and think different, have that pivot. And then I ran across this place, this ghost kitchen in North Vegas on a corner of Pecos and North Las Vegas Boulevard. And I relaunched the Chef Jeff Project as a brick and mortar ghost kitchen. And today, we take, 6 to 8 young, at-risk young people from 15 to 24, and we put them through about a 60-day program where we use food as a therapeutic and rehabilitative tool to help these young people discover what their gift is and find a career path. And so that's how it all started, Kurt.
Man, that inverse. Now, everybody know for the first quarter of 2021, all my shows is based on passion and purpose. Passion is the emotion that drives you towards your purpose. Your purpose is usually long-standing. You just find different ways to be passionate about it. And what I just heard was you came out of prison, and I think that's where you actually learned how to cook, because I don't remember you ever going to a culinary school.
Never been a culinary school, never taken a cooking class in my life. It's funny, I got fired on my day job in prison, which was on a Cadillac crew, sweeping up trash and cigarette butts along with the wealthy Wall Street inmates. And punishment was the prison dish crew. And I wound up in the prison kitchen washing dishes, and I started hanging around with the cooks, and eventually I started cooking, and before you knew it, I was the head inmate cook and eventually the head inmate baker. And I said, well, when I get out, I'm not going back in the drug game. I was decriminalized. I love cooking. I love baking. I love managing people. And an article came out in the USA Today a few months before I got released about the top black chefs in the country. And I said to myself, man, if they can do it, I can do it. So that's kind of like how I got that culinary bug and fell into the culinary hospitality industry.
Man, what an amazing journey. So this is what I'm hearing. You was a hustler before you went in the pen. When you came out, you said, I'm still hustling. I'm going to just change my product.
Yes.
Okay, now,
yes.
That's what life is all about, because us black and brown people, we know we get our hustle on. But sometimes we just have to change our product. And look what your product took you. Changed your product and went from, I ain't going to say you was at the bottom, but you went from incarceration to top chef in the nation, doing TV shows. But I think the biggest part is that you're taking kids, young adults, even up to 18, 19, whoever needs the help, and you're changing their mindset.
Yeah.
And that's what life coaching is about. And that's what mentoring is about. So you got all that. I can cook, you can mentor, you can life coach, and you changing lives. That's when you know you following your purpose.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
passion behind it. When I watch you in the kitchen with these boys and you say, they ask you a question or you tell them something to do. Yes, chef. And they moving.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
that discipline
Yes.
that they're learning now that's going to
That's right.
take them further in their life. I really, truly believe that. And what you guys do is just so incredible.
Thank
I'm sharing everything you post and all that over and over again because I want this Las Vegas to understand that we have many programs, but if they don't come down and see your program and see really what the difference you're making in these kids' lives, because I think most of them, yeah, they might be doing it now, but it's going to be, if they don't continue, they always going to have something else to fall back on. They're going to have the basis. Like when they graduate from you, they could probably go get a job anywhere they want to on the strip. We're in the greatest place with thousands and thousands of
Absolutely.
restaurants here to get in that
Absolutely.
business.
Yes.
I mean, this opportunity isn't in every state.
Absolutely.
It's definitely unique here. Go right
Yeah,
ahead.
and you know, too, Kirk, you know, the Chef Project, even though we use baking and cooking and hospitality training as a activity, the real mission is to disrupt the school to prison pipeline.
Yes, sir.
And to get these young kids to have a psychological shift in the way they think
Yes,
and learn
yes.
value systems, because a lot of our young people are running amok on the street and they have been, you know, engulfed into this gang activity, this criminal lifestyle. And unfortunately, we have a heavy criminal culture in black and brown communities. And poverty drives criminal thinking. Poverty drives that hustle mentality, that hustle mindset. And when you hear the word pivot, the big word pivot, you know, black folks and brown folks in this country have been pivoting our whole life, adapting
right.
and adjusting and executing and making $1 out of 15 cents. You know, so it's really getting these kids to learn who they are.
Yes, sir.
You know, what their gift is. Because I believe that God gave us all a gift. And what a gift is the one thing that you do extremely well at a very high level with the least amount of effort is the gift.
Yes.
And many of these young folks that we serve at the Chef Project and through YAP as well too, these kids have never been exposed. Many of them have never seen the ocean, been out of the state, never been on an airplane. I had one kid I took to Whole Foods a couple of weeks ago, and we rolled down up in Summerlin. And he said, Chef, I'd never been over here before. He was looking all out of the windows. You thought he was in a foreign country. I'm like, come on, you living right here in Las Vegas and never been to Summerlin, never been to Whole Foods, never had white asparagus, never had cauliflower. You know, so exposure to me is the foundation of change.
is.
If these kids can get exposed and see themselves in a different environment, they begin to see the world is bigger than Northtown,
Yes, sir.
West Side, Henderson, you know, Summerlin. You know, so I'm really big on exposure, and we give everything we can at our nonprofit to
We
try to
truly do.
help these kids see this picture and paint this picture. And my wife has just been, you know, she brings that mother trait to the Chef J. You know, I'm tough love.
Yes.
I don't tolerate a whole lot of stuff, zero tolerance. And sometimes I'll be like, honey, I don't think this youngster here is going to make it. And she loves on them all. She says, no, we're going to keep them in the program. We don't get rid of anybody. We don't close the door on anybody. And so we still got a few youngsters who was hard-headed, just like me. And we keep them.
And I remind them they were just like you.
Yes, you know, and you know, our thing is that we take the youngsters that many nonprofits don't want to deal with.
That's right.
So we're not based on numbers. You know, we don't run them through and get them out. We have yet to have a graduation. We've been around for 4 months because I'm not graduating nobody until I feel they're ready to go out there.
Absolutely.
So it may take a year. You can't put a timetable on a person to transform their life. You know, we got to keep giving them a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It takes time to leave that mentality that got many of them locked up and in the situation that they're in today, Kirk.
Exactly. I remember you was telling me that we had stopped outside. I dropped the boys out, and you came and said, Kurt, can you give me just a little bit of history? Because my wife and my daughter see something that I don't see. And then I gave you the background, and you said, oh, that's why. You know, so sometimes it takes a team And you guys are definitely a team in identifying how to coach different kids different ways.
Yes.
So they catch on and so they stay focused and things like that. And that's another blessing that you guys bring to your program. We're going to take a break real quick for just a few minutes. We're going to run some music for them, and then we're going to come back. Hopefully we come back with a video, and then we're going to finish up some more questions. And I got another video that I'm going to show as you well. Can we go to a break? Either or. Yeah. Going to the video or the song? Okay. So real quick, in honor of Women's History Month. Okay, we're gonna show this video. Okay. No, just fine. You can go with this one. Sounds good. So, Chef, while we got this going, go ahead and explain what's going on right here.
Well, you know, we try to put subject matter experts in the presence of our young people. So, not only do we focus on cooking, baking, hospitality, and life skills, we bring in subject matter experts, people from the Las Vegas community and around the country that have lived experiences that are relatable to these young kids here. And Kirk, you know, your story going in the military and you being a life coach has been impactful for these kids, because I remember first meeting you, and before I met you, I had saw you a few times pull up, drop kids off, pick them up, and I'm like, man, who's this brother? You picking these kids up and dropping them off, get them early in the morning and late at night. I knew you was somebody special and somebody that's truly upstanding in the community. I mean, Kirk is a guy that he picks these kids up, he brings them to the kitchen, he sits out in the parking lot sometimes for 2 hours. I gotta bring him food out there, tell him to get out the car and come on up in the kitchen and grab something to eat. You know, so you know, we just love on these kids, man. It's a safe place. You know, we have a little place out the back of our kitchen where, you know, we have laptops and, you know, tablets for our kids to jump on the high-speed internet to take tests, work on their GED programs. It's a place where they can sit back there and play a few games, talk on the phone, and not have to worry about the pressures and the trauma that they walk into that front door with, because our young people have been traumatized. They inherited trauma. You know, we have young people whose fathers are serving double life sentence in prison. We have a young man who has a 14-year age difference between him and his mother. You know, these young people are autistic, high-functioning, autistic, have had suicidal thoughts. Many of our kids are in the foster care system or aged out of the foster care system. Imagine going your whole life and never meeting your biological mother or your father. Imagine breaking in cars just to sleep, not to steal, but just to sleep. So we see it all. You know, 4 of our young men have been shot before. We run the whole gamut of the Las Vegas community in our programs and stuff. So we love what we do. It's our calling. I've been doing this work for over 20 years. This isn't something new we just started doing it. We're self-funded. You know, my wife and I put up the money to launch this kitchen and buy all the new equipment. We don't receive any federal grants or county or state monies or anything like that. So pretty much is surviving off of what we put into it and whatever donations that people in the community around the country are willing to help us to buy food and keep the lights on and make sure the kids get a meal, because they get 2 meals when they come. They get a breakfast and a lunch and a take-home doggy bag. So we make sure they go home with a little bit of food, especially for their siblings.
Outstanding. And you know, the video that I just ran was just some of the things that go on in that kitchen. There was various guys, they make soup, or they're cooking the breakfast food, or they're making the beignets sometime for Saturdays. And the jambalaya we had last week, wasn't that the jambalaya?
Yes,
and the
sir.
beignets and
Yes.
everything? So it's amazing what really goes on, and you have to come and experience yourself. And like we say, we living off of donations. That's what makes this work. Anybody that wants to get in there and donate, just get in touch with it. We're going to drop all the handles at the end and tell you how you can get in touch with Chef Jeff and the project program. But other than that, it's just amazing what he does down there, and these kids come back and go home, and now they practicing. I know I got one guy down there, he goes home and practices and send pictures back to the chef and all of us to say, hey, this is what I'm learning. My plating's getting better. My plating's getting a lot better. I say, well, I hope the food tastes better too, buddy. It's looking good down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a blessing. So let's go ahead and go to that break now and just play a little bit of music, and we're going to be good to go. And we're going to come back for the second half of the show.
I was going to say my Instagram handle is wrong. It's just Stacy Noel.
Oh, it's just...
Potato sugar,
Yes.
Django isn't a slave. Django is a free man, you understand? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here, cause he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
Yearning for your validation.
Validation.
All in hopes I'm in the conversation.
All in hopes.
Pour so much of me into you. Can't believe I ain't never feel for me instead of you. I slide in the coupe. I lose the roof. I die for the truth. Fired by no rules. Ricky devils in cahoots. Drop a prayer on the screw.
One time.
God on my side. I never lose still. I wanna be humble, but I gotta flex. On them niggas. I don't wanna mumble, but that respect.
Respect me, nigga.
I do it my way. They say it's left. If I sell my soul, what I got left? Because I don't need nobody else. I'm lying to myself. Not talking physical, dog, the spiritual and health. All these opportunities is higher, I can tell. Got to keep them in them stairs, cause the timing never fails. My advice, keep moving. If not, you can lose it. Wasting time on the clueless. Knowing they can never do this. Back. Tell them pessimists they need to spine. Cause whack when they're paralyzed in the mind. I don't need nobody else.
No, I don't.
Tell my younger self.
What you say?
You got God as your help. Just let it go and never dwell.
My advice.
Unless they good to you. My advice. Look in the mirror, tell the truth. My advice. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. My advice. Stand for something or die for nothing.
My advice.
Flex on them if they hating on you. I would tell my younger self. Yeah. You should never go and let. Hypothetical. Fuck all opinions. Your validation and your acceptance. I never needed you. No, I never needed you. I never needed you.
No, I never needed you.
Ready? Hey, we back. Thank you for hanging in there. I just want to say another shout out to my sponsors real quick. You know, it's a blessing to have people that believe in you and support you. I got Braids for You. I got the Bougie Girl Vegas, and also the Red Run Mobile Hair Salon. They do amazing things. Don't forget to tap in with them. Get that 10 to 15% discount as soon as you can. Easter's coming up. You can get the hairs done, the nails done, the feet done, all that. Just tap in with them. And then the jewelry comes from Bougie Girl Vegas. I got a couple of chains on under this nice tie I got, and they do it for me, and they make sure I'm looking good. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching. I got Cindy out there. I got Monique from this morning. Thank you, Monique, for tapping in. Wanda Bell I got out there. One of my Navy friends, John Acosta. Thank you for being out there. My big supporter is Misty. Oh, Misty out there. She never misses a day, boy. That young lady is amazing. Does everything for us down here at BU. And a good friend of mine, Miss Valerie Thrower. Thank you for being out there. Chrissy Renee, you made it. Appreciate you. Valerie again. Oh, and my brother, Malik, The Truth. Also a host on his show out there to watch and support me today. I appreciate all of you. And Brenda Brown, okay, I see you out there, Sauce in the City. Thank you, love, for tapping in. And Momo, thank you as well. Appreciate you. And always, Amber, you support me always, and I truly appreciate that. So now as we wind back into the second half, Chef, I got a question. Because I see what you do, but I don't know if you identify it yourself. But what unique skill do you have that's helped you be so successful in your journey?
I think I've always been driven ever since I was a youngster. Just always being futuristic. I've always been a guy who thought 10, 15, 20 years ahead. And once I make my mind up and become very passionate about something, I don't stop until I win. So I think I was always driven and very resilient as well, too.
Outstanding.
Yes.
I like that word, resilient.
Yes.
That's something that, if something happens to us, do we bounce back? Yes, and that's a form of resiliency. Not giving up on yourself.
That's right.
Just making it happen. That's something we have to do because we got families. We got to take care of life. We got to take care of ourselves as well.
That's right.
And what can you add to that, Miss Stacey? What can you add to that?
Well, I've always been a person that never gave up, and that's why Jeff and I do so well together because we just keep pushing. That's all you can do. Because sometimes you're going to hit a hard road, but you got to learn how to pivot and get back on track. So that's the motto in our home. It's the motto in our business. It's the motto in life.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Teamwork make the dream work.
That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's it. That's it. So here's a question for you guys. Where would you like to see the Chef Jeff Project in Las Vegas, Nevada go within the next 3 to 5 years? Have you visioned out that far?
Absolutely. You want to go, honey? You want me to take
Straight to the top. We want to help as many people in the community as we can. There is a dire need. I never realized. When you grow up and good conditions. I grew up in a pretty privileged household, I would think. We've had hard times. It hasn't always been a great road, but just hearing some of the stories and talking to some of the young people, it breaks my heart to know what they've gone through and that what they continue to go through. And so I just know they're only a small fraction of what's happening in our community. So we have to do everything we can to help this next generation get up and stand up and do way better than we've done. So that's our mission. We're going to keep pushing, and we just hope to be able to service as many as people as we can. So any help that anyone out there can do to help our organization would be a blessing because we are here to serve.
And Kurt, too, when I think of the big picture for the Chef Jeff Project, I really envision building this model here first in North Las Vegas, a model that works, a model that impacts, a model that begins to change the narrative and shape the future in North and West Las Vegas. I see the Chef Jeff Project opening up kitchens all across this country. One of the things we want to do is purchase a food truck. So we can take the mobile school into the community and yet young folks sell food off the food truck to hone those customer service skills, those people skills. I like to take it and pull it right up in Red Rock Estates so they can be in a different environment. We don't cook traditional all the time soul food. We do progressive American comfort food because we like to expose our young people. We're looking to build a vertical farm, one of those huge container farms where we can grow our own herbs and vegetables year round. Because kids need to understand, young people need to understand what fresh means and how that impacts the body, the mind, the learning capabilities versus canned foods and all of this, fried foods and stuff that we've grew up on. So we just really want to create a model that could be duplicated in various communities here in Vegas and hopefully eventually around the country.
Well, you can't beat that. It's funny that for myself, like in the business that we're in, we're not in it for the money right now. We're in it for changing lives.
That's right.
What I do at Yap, most people don't come and stay, but I've been there 3 years now. And yes, it costs, okay? It costs me time, costs me gas, all that. But if I can change just one or be a part of the change to just one, this Chef Jeff product, let y'all know he already pulled me in.
Yes.
I'm on the road to it. I'm like, Kurt, what else can you put on your plate? Well, that's like juggling elephants. I put in my circus what I know that counts, I let the other ones go. I move some things around to make sure I can support my brother. It's just incredible. You have to come down and experience the Chef Jeff Project. Because if you come once, you're going to keep coming every weekend. You're going to come every Saturday morning. We start at 8 o'clock in the morning. Chef's going to talk about that in just a minute. But I have one more question that I'm rolling into. In their line of work, what do you think is some of the primary reasons, or what you believe, that people either quit or they fail or they give up on their dreams? Because I see that you haven't, because you've been doing this for years.
I think I think I'm going to always go back to exposure, self-confidence, self-belief, and so many of the young people, especially that is in part of the Chef Jeff Project, have been beat down spiritually, mentally, and culturally their whole life, because again, they inherited a lot of trauma from their parents, from the environment they was brought up in, so they don't get the reinforcement that most middle-class young folks get. They're not told they're smart. They're not told they never heard the word potential. Don't really even know what that really means. So I think once we begin to build them up and strengthen that backbone and getting them to love themselves and getting them to believe in themselves is the recipe for these young people to not give up. Once they can see themselves doing something and completing something that's legit, when they get praise. When I bring these kids into the kitchen and we start off making donuts or cinnamon rolls, we start off with all-purpose flour, some egg, some yeast, a little sugar, some salt, a little bit of milk, a little bit of water. It's in raw form. And then within 3 to 4 hours, these ingredients transform into amazing piece of bread or pastry, and these kids look at themselves and say, my hands done this.
Yes, sir.
I was a part of this process, and I'm a big praiser, I'm a big hugger, high five, fist bump. You know, we do a thing in our kitchen based on New Orleans. We say, who that?
Who that?
He that. Who that?
That's
He
it.
that. So we all about pumping each other up and making us feel good, because if we don't do it, who else is going to do it? And we keep a mirror in our kitchen. And I hold that mirror up, or I walk a youngster to that mirror every day and say, what do you see when you look into that mirror? What do you see? And some kids are able to articulate what they see.
Right.
And some kids say, I don't know. And I said, this is why you're here at the Chef Jeff Project, because our mission is to help you see yourself in a different light, a different place, in different circumstances.
Man, that's impactful.
That's the
That
power
is
of
impactful.
potential.
Yeah.
That's the power of potential.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And the more we instill that into our youth, the better they gonna come, because it's a lot going on. Like you said, this world is changing. Social media and things like that is really kind of separating these kids from us, and that's why they out there doing what they do. But projects like yours bring it together. Bring that kitchen together. The food always tastes amazing. I watched y'all fry some chicken the other day, and I wasn't there, and I was like, I done missed out on this one.
Hey, Kirk, we got to lay off, and I've been getting hit a little bit on some of the fried foods and stuff, but we do we do different types of cuisines and healthier versions. My wife and my children are all vegan.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be introducing a healthier cooking concept and baking concept next month. So we will be offering vegan cuisine as well. But my kids just love that fried chicken, that catfish. So that's a treat. When they do really well, they show up on time, they're not missing in action, I'll go ahead and bust out one of them whole birds and break it down in 8 different pieces.
But then our daughter says, make sure they eat vegetables.
Yes. Yes. So we just instituted a vegetable of the day.
Oh, okay.
So
great,
now we have to showcase a vegetable for these kids, so they can get that healthier component, and also be educated and aware on the healthiness of eating certain vegetables, especially superfoods.
Outstanding. That sounds great. Now, this part of the show is where we kind of have some fun. So, Stacey, I'm going to ask the question. You can answer it first, and then Chef, you can answer it afterwards, okay? Because I always like the ladies to answer this one first.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
So, Stacy, if you had to say anything, not to put him on the spot, it's just a question, that he was not very good at, what would it be?
I would say being romantic
Okay.
in the beginning. He was always a grinder. So
That's it.
It was always serious time. We got to do this. We got to do that. I can remember one time when he first came home, we were working out. He got a membership and we were working out at 24-hour fitness. And so I'm just like thinking I'm cute. I had on my little, workout gear. And so I'm, working out, breaking a sweat. He was like, wait a minute. He was like, you don't look like you're working out. You look too happy and too. He's like, where's your grit? Like, where you're not supposed to be smiling when you work out. Yeah. So I was trying to prove to him that I had it. I was like, yeah, I could work. I didn't work out at all. So I had to play it off. But
that's it.
Yeah. So he wasn't. He was always like real serious and extra focused. So I would say in the beginning he wasn't very romantic at all.
Yeah, but we got a whole family now, so we know he had to light a candle somewhere and get there when you had that red dress on, right?
Here go the candle right here. Here go the candle.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, Chef.
I got to say something right
Yes,
quick on that romantic side.
Yes,
so
sir.
And there's a little education for folks out there. Prison is, I spent 10 years in the federal system, and, prison desensitizes you.
Yes, sir.
And, coming out of the system, being locked up with, 1,500 other convicts, for a 10-year period, you kind of lose that. And so I had to learn to be romantic. I had to learn to not be selfish, because prison is a place where you keep to yourself. You don't borrow, you don't loan, and things of that nature. So it was a struggle for me at first. I remember, eating, and I would sit at the table and I would put my arms around my plate, because in the prison chow hall, cats be looking to see if you want to trade that pork chop for your chocolate cake or whatever. And then, Stacy would say sometimes, well, honey, are you going to offer anything? I said, oh, yeah. You want some of what I have?
Yeah, he did. He
so
definitely was selfish.
I had to overcome that selfishness.
And you know what? That's very true, because it's no different in the military.
Yes.
The structure of prisons and military is the same.
Yes.
They change us, and like I eat till this day, I eat each food individually because of the tray it comes on.
Yes. The little compartments.
Right. It's compartmentalized, and I'll eat what I want hot first, and whatever I can eat cold last, that's what I eat last, So it's just in us. And it seems like Stacy brought most of that out of you, because I say you're a hell of a guy now, and you'll give away your shirt. You will give away your shirt. So this one's for you, Chef. If you could switch lives with someone for a day, who would you choose? Just for a day.
Just for a day.
Just for a day.
I would have to say with Cindy Poitier. I had an opportunity to meet him and spend a few minutes with him once. And I was in Beverly Hills. And when you talk about a man of humility, a man that was very graceful, his spirit.
Yes, sir.
It was like speaking to the ancestors.
Okay.
Just the presence of being in front of him. And that's something that I've always strived for, is to master humility. And that's something, my wife and my older children always, put that word out there to me. Stay humble.
Okay.
Stay humble. Stay humble. And it's so important, especially in the work that we have embarked on. We're in the people business.
Yes.
We're in the rehabilitation business. Like you said earlier, this isn't a get-rich business. This isn't a money-making business. This is a passion project that we do. And so I would have to say, Cindy Poitier, if I can switch with him for one day, I would love to walk in his shoes, walk in his spirit, and walk in his gift that he brings to this world.
That's a perfect answer.
Man,
wow.
incredible. Yes,
He's
sir.
a great guy.
Yes, incredible. You know, I put him up there with Cicely Tyson and
absolutely.
Harry Belafonte because that was that era that kind of taught us how to be suave.
And gentlemen, yeah.
Yeah,
Ladies
and a gentleman, first class.
Statesman.
Absolutely.
There you go, statesman,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
So I know we're getting close. I want you guys, now, Chef, I know you do it better than anybody because I've seen it many times.
What, rap?
Nah, we ain't
No,
gonna have
don't
you
go
rapping
there.
tonight. No freestyling,
Please.
Yo,
That's
come
another
over here.
show. But tell us how we can support you. My listeners would love to support the project. How do we get in touch with you? Phone number, email, whatever you want to tell us, and give me that passion of why they need to support the project.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to start off with our website, thechefjetproject.org. Thechefjetproject.org is how you find us. And we're at the corner of Pecos and North Las Vegas Boulevard, right across from that huge outdoor swap meet, McDonald's and Walgreens. I would tell you the exact address, but I don't know the exact address. My wife will tell you here in a few minutes.
2987 North Las Vegas Boulevard North.
Yes.
And we're in suite number 10.
Suite number 10, yes. The support that we really need, like I said, we pay a rent over there. We pay high-speed cable, internet. What's mostly costly is food. And starting this weekend, we will have a community refrigerator that will be sitting outside our kitchen on Saturday. So we ask when you go to the grocery store to pick up a little extra for us, whether it's chicken, whether it's milk, cereal, orange juice, fresh vegetables, and you can drop those off at our community refrigerator. You'll pull up, you can either open the freezer or open the refrigerator and drop that in. Also, any cash donations donated to our 501c3 is most appreciated. 100 solid % of all dollars go into the nonprofit. We don't get paid.
We don't get a salary.
We don't take anything out of this nonprofit. We have our other entrepreneurial businesses. This is a 100% nonprofit, so everything goes back in. And the reason why it's important to support what we do is because we're really doing the work. We put our money where our mouth is. We bring the subject matter experts. We take on the youngsters, the most underserved, the most vulnerable young people in our community. These are kids who are actively gang members. These are kids who have done home invasions, robberies. These are kids who have been homeless. These are kids who have been physically, emotionally, culturally abused. These are the kids, that we fear when we go out on the streets. We fear in our own neighborhood. But let me tell you something about these young people. They cry. They hurt.
They do.
They love.
See it every day.
Not one time do my wife and I have ever felt scared or threatened. They have never stolen anything, not even an extra piece of chicken when it's sitting on the stove. So these are kids who just want a shot. They want to be loved on. They want an opportunity. They don't want to do the things that landed them in lockup and stuff like that. They just feel they have no options. So as a community, we have a responsibility to pay it forward, especially our folks who are doing well, who live in the middle class, upper middle class. Why? Because we all got to where we are because somebody gave us a shot.
That's right.
So we need to pay it forward and help these young people because they're so vulnerable. We have them from 15, 16 years old up to the age of 24 years of age. Come by and visit the school and get a tour. Every Saturday we do a jambalaya and beignet and coffee pop-up fundraiser. Every Saturday from 8 to 11. You show up, you eat with us, you drink coffee. People from the community come out. You can see the kids working. We'll tour you through the kitchen. And we also recently just launched Second Chance Catering. So you can order your catering needs from us as well too, Kurt.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Outstanding. Stacey, you want to say any last words?
I just want to thank you for having us on your show. I think it's a great platform to be able to get the word out about what is most needed in our community, and how a lot of our fine people in Las Vegas can support. It's so important. And then just, you know, understanding that this is a pandemic within itself. Like, I mean, we're experiencing a pandemic, but the young people are suffering.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of them are depressed. I mean, they've lost out on graduations, and they're not in school, so they're wandering around. But it makes me so happy when I see our young people come to our program and they have ability to kind of communicate with each other, and in a safe environment, of course, but you know, they can communicate with each other, and I see them laugh and talk. And I mean, if it just gives them those couple of days that they're there to have some type of socialization, it means a lot. I mean, you can tell from the time they came, when they first came, up until now, they're in better spirits. So we're doing the work, we're putting the time in. I mean, I'm there, Jeff is there, we're there for hours after these young people leave, just strategizing and trying to figure out, you know, what's the best way to take it, left or right. And then we have our kids down there. We have 2 younger children that, you know, they do their independent studies work there, and we're constantly grinding, but because we're passionate about making change. So we put in our money, our time, our energy, and efforts into building something big that is going to definitely have a huge impact on this community. So that's all I want to say. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and also for this platform. I can't say enough.
Outstanding. You know, it's just 2 words I love, and that's that passion and purpose. And understanding what God left you to work with and pushing towards that. It's just an incredible. I want to thank you guys. I'm just so honored to have you here and joining y'all's family. I know we got a road trip coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. Taking these boys and exposing them to some more of life that they might not have ever had a chance to experience until they got involved in the Chef Jeff Project. I want to say good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Good night, everybody.
I'll see you next Monday, 8 p.m., and you're in the right place with the right people at the right time. And that's BU Radio. Thank you very much. Stay blessed and highly favored.
Yeah. Why they so jealous? Natural. DT 702. Then I guess you got it like that. Dick in the thighs and that ass so fat. They hate it when you get attention. When you walk by, they don't say nothing. They jealous. They be jealous. Impulse, they so jealous. They be jealous. Turn heads when she walking. Superstar paparazzi start flocking. As the beat starts knocking, shorty hit the dance floor, ass start dropping. She's truly independent. She's grinding and she's winning. The other girls pretending, not stopping till she fending. She ain't got no man unless you got them bands. Why these hoes be hating? The drama they're creating, but it ain't even phasing you, 'cause you're amazing. So fast. When you get attention, when you walk by, they don't say nothing. They're jealous, yeah. They be jealous. Them hoes so jealous. They be jealous. She like the room when she enters. Everyone's attention, she is the center. Fellas double take when they see her. Watch her transform as the beat hits the speaker. Shawty ain't no average chick. Unless you coming with those bands, no, she's not having it. No. She ain't got no man. Unless you got them bands, no. Why these hoes be hating? The drama they're creating, but it ain't even phasing you, 'cause you're amazing. So fast. When you get attention, oh, you're jealous.
everybody in the club stop and stare. Them thick thighs in the ass, Ric Flair. Please remind them as you walking over here. Just pop it and lock it, then drop it, don't stop it. You the hot topic, they know you got options. They jealous, it's toxic, they harmless, no caution. Just do it, go do it, do it. Clap for me, mommy, clap, clap for me, mommy. Make it boom back for me, mommy. Frame on time, hourglass type of body with an apple bottom. She don't need jeans for it only. Shake what your mama gave you. Shake, shake, take it all, money made good. Take, look at they faces, the wrinkles, they stress and rebellious. No, they jealous.
But it's
hoes.
so